3 and I'm here to film a video today to go along with the White Rose Home Learning. So here is a video on equivalent fractions. So just to recap, let's have a look at our two parts of our fractions. So my bottom number is the denominator. That's how many parts there are in total. My top part is called the numerator. That's how many parts that we are using. Sometimes we might say that this is how many parts are shaded in. So this fraction shows me 1/4. If I'm going to draw 1/4, I know I need to have 4 equal parts. And I'm using 1, so that one's shaded in. So here is 1/4 as a picture representation. So here's a quick recap. I want you to match the images to the fractions. So I've got 1/2, 1/4 and 1/3. I want you to pause the video here and match these pictures of fractions to the fractions we have written at the top. Off you go. Okay, let's have a look. So I know this one is 1/2. I'm looking for fractions that have 2 parts, 2 equal parts, and 1 is shaded. So I can see this one has 2 equal parts and 1 is shaded. I can see this one has 2 equal parts and 1 is shaded. I can see that this one has 2 parts, but they're not equal, so it's not a fraction. Next to 1/4, I'm looking for fractions that have 4 equal parts and 1 is shaded. And finally, 1/3, I'm looking for fractions that have 3 equal parts and 1 shaded. So I can see this one and this one. So today we're looking at equivalent fractions. The word equivalent means it has the same value or amount. So today we're looking at fractions that are worth the same value or amount as another fraction. Some fractions that are written with different numbers have the same value. The same fraction can be written in lots of different ways. So here I have 1/2 and here I have 2/4. They are worth the same amount when you look at the pictures. So 1/2 is the same as 2/4. We can compare the two models because they are the same size. If you want to compare fractions using pictures, your models must be the same size beforehand. So we can see 1/2 and 2/4 are the same amount. So here are some examples using some pizza I've eaten. Here, I've split my pizza into 2 big parts. I've split them into halves. And I ate 1/2 all in one go. I ate half the pizza. This time, I split my pizza into 4 equal parts, into quarters, and I ate 2/4. This time, I split my pizza into smaller parts called eighths, and I ate 4 of them. In each of the pizzas, I ate exactly the same amount, but this one was just 1 big slice, this one was 2 smaller slices, and this one was 4 even smaller slices. So we can say 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8 are equivalent. They're all worth the same. We can see they're the same because in our diagram, we can see they're taking up the same amount of space. They're equivalent. So even though these fractions all have different numerators and denominators, they're all worth the same amount. My first example is 1/4. I've got my bar split into 4 parts and 1 is shaded. I can see that 1/4 is the same as 2/8. This time my bar is split into 8 equal parts and 2 are shaded, 2/8. And 2/8 and 1/4 are both the same as 3/12. This time my bar is split into 12 equal parts and 3 are shaded, and we can see they're all worth the same amount. And finally, this time my bar is split into 16 parts and 4 are shaded. So 1/4, 2/8, 3/12 and 4/16 are all equivalent. As we have more pieces, we need more of them to cover the same area. So as the denominator gets bigger, we have more pieces, we need more in our numerator, more of those pieces to cover the same amount of area. So let's have a look at the equivalent fractions for 1/5. So I'm going to start at my top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So my denominator is 5 and 1 is shaded, that's 1/5. I can see using the purple part that this is the same as this fraction. I'm going to count how many parts there are altogether to find the denominator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 parts and 2 are shaded. So 1/5 is equivalent to 2/10. My final one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My denominator is 15 because I have 15 equal parts. And I can see 3 of them are shaded. So 1/5, 2/10 and 3/50 are all equivalent. They're all worth exactly the same amount. If I had 1/5 of a bar of chocolate, I'd eat the same as if I ate 2/10 of a bar of chocolate, or if I ate 3/15 of a bar of chocolate. So what do you notice about the numbers in this set of equivalent fractions? Pause this video and have a look at the link between 1/2, 2/4 and 4/8. Okay, let's have a look. So I've got 1/2, 2/4 and 4/8. I notice that I double 1 to make 2. And when I'm doubling, I'm timesing by 2. So 1 times 2 makes 2. And I notice that I'm also doubling the bottom number. I'm also timesing it by 2. So I've times my numerator by 2 and I've times my denominator by 2. Let's have a look at these two. I notice that again, I can double 2 to make 4. So 2 times 2 equals 4. I also notice that I can double my denominator. The way I like to remember this is whatever I do to my numerator, I must also do to my denominator. So if I multiply my numerator by 2, I've also got to multiply my denominator by 2. When we look at equivalent fractions, we're only looking at multiplication and the inverse of that division. We don't use add and subtract to find equivalent fractions. We only use multiplication and division. So if I multiply my numerator to find another fraction, I need to multiply the denominator too. So I would like you to pause now to have a go at finishing this question. So it says complete the statement to match the image. You've got 3 boxes for fractions here and the equal symbol says they need to be equivalent. Here are the pictures. I wonder what fraction these pictures show. Pause this video and have a go at working it out. Okay, so I can see in my first fraction I've got 3 equal parts and 1 is shaded. So that shows me 1/3. My second fraction, I'm going to count how many equal parts I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know I'm counting in sixths and 2 are shaded, so that's 2/6. My final fraction is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my denominator is 9. 3 are shaded, so it's 3/9. So I can see that 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6, which is equivalent to 3/9. That's the end of our video. I hope this is helpful. You can watch it as many times as you need to help you with your learning for this week. Remember, you can go onto White Rose on our home learning pack to see what our learning is, and there's lots of really useful videos on there to help you as well. Hope you have a lovely week.